An airport is the only place left in America that sorts your entire life into groups, out loud, over a loudspeaker, in front of strangers. And everyone in that terminal already knows which group is yours before you do. You just don't know they know. Not yet. Level 1. $0. You get to the airport 3 hours early. Not because you're organized, because you're scared. Scared of a fee you didn't see coming, a line that moves slower than the clock, a bag that's 1 pound too heavy. You book the cheapest fare there was, the one that sounds like a deal until you read the second screen. No seat assignment, no carry-on. The bag you're holding costs more to bring than the flight you're taking. You find this out at the counter in front of the people behind you when the agent points at a metal frame on the floor and says if it doesn't fit in there, it's $65. It fits, barely. You push it down with both hands like you're hiding a body. You don't check a bag because checking a bag is another $40. So you wear the heavy coat instead of packing it, and you carry the bulk of your own trip on your back through a building designed to make you feel slow. The security line has a shorter line running right next to it. People walk through it in half the time, shoes on, laptops in. You watch them the way you watch everything you can't afford. Quickly, then not at all. That line costs money you decided you didn't have, so you take your shoes off on a cold floor and hold your pants up with one hand because they took your belt. Then you wait at the gate and you hear it, the thing that tells you exactly where you stand. They don't call your name, they call a number, and your number is the last one. Group 9. You board a plane that is already full of people who are already seated, already settled, already watching you walk down the aisle looking for space that's gone. The overhead bins are full. A flight attendant takes your bag, the bag you fought to keep, and checks it anyway, for free now. The thing you paid to avoid done to you at the door because there was no room left for people who boarded last. Boarding groups are just your net worth read out loud in the order the airline values you. You sit in the middle seat. You didn't choose it. Nobody chooses it. It was chosen for you the moment you paid the least. Level 2. $2,000. You have a little now, not enough to change how you fly, just enough to change how you plan. You learn the tricks the way broke people learn everything, the hard way, and then obsessively. You measure your bag at home with a tape measure. You weigh it on the bathroom scale, holding it, subtracting yourself. You book the flight at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday because someone told you it's cheaper, and you're not sure it's true, but you can't afford to be wrong. You still board in Group 8. You still take your shoes off, but you've stopped being surprised by it. And there's a specific kind of tired that comes from a thing that no longer surprises you. At the gate, a man in a quarter zip walks up after you and gets called before you. Not because he was faster, because the card in his wallet moved him up a group. You watch him board with a coffee he didn't have to rush to drink. At the bottom, you learn the rules. One level up, you learn the rules were never the thing costing you. Level 3. $50,000. Something small changes and it changes everything about the morning. You have the shorter line now. You paid the fee, the one you used to watch other people use. And the first time you walk through it with your shoes on, your belt on, your laptop still zipped inside your bag, you almost feel guilty, like you cut. You didn't cut, you just stopped volunteering for the slow version of your own life. You get to the gate with time now, not fear time, actual time. You buy a coffee and you drink it sitting down. You board in Group 4, somewhere in the middle, not first, not last. Your bag fits in the bin because there's still room when your group is called. You have a seat you picked, an aisle, because you learned you'd rather stand for a stranger than climb over one. Nobody treats you well yet, but for the first time, nobody treats you like a problem to be moved through. The airport has stopped noticing you, and at this level, being unnoticed feels like a kind of wealth. The middle isn't respect, it's the absence of humiliation. And you'd be amazed how much that feels like enough for a while. Level 4. $250,000. There's a door in the airport you never used to see. You've walked past it 100 times, a plain frosted door with a small sign, and a person standing beside it who checks a card and nods. You never wondered what was behind it because you'd been trained not to wonder about doors that weren't for you. Now the card in your wallet opens it. Inside, it's quiet. The chairs are soft. The food is free, not good, but free, and laid out like it's normal to feed the people who are already the least hungry. There are no announcements in here. That's the first thing you notice. The airport screams at everyone out there, and here it whispers. You board in group 2 now. Priority. You walk down a jet bridge that's still empty, and you find your overhead bin wide open, waiting like it was holding the space for you, because it was. Out in the terminal, a family is running for a gate, the mother carrying a shoe in one hand and a child's arm in the other. You used to be running too. Now you're sitting in the leather chair watching them run, and you feel two things at once, and you don't like the second one. The lounge doesn't sell you comfort, it sells you a wall, thick enough that you stop hearing the people you used to be.
Level 5, $1 million. You don't plan around flights anymore. Flights plan around you. You fly business now, and the strange part isn't the seat that folds into a bed. It's what happens before the seat. A separate check-in, a separate line at security so short it isn't a line, it's a hallway. A person who walks you, not points you. They call you by your name at the gate. Not group 2, not a number. Your name, spoken by someone who looked at a screen and decided you were worth the extra syllable. You board first into a cabin that's still dim and calm, and you watch the rest of the plane file past you. Group 3, 4, 8, 9, the entire ladder you climbed walking by your shoulder one rung at a time. And not one of them looks at you, because people who are boarding late never look at the people already seated. You know this because you spent years not looking either. You order a drink before the doors close. You don't ask the price. There isn't one. And you realize the thing money actually bought wasn't the champagne. At the bottom, you wait for the plane. Up here, the plane already knows your name. Money doesn't buy a better seat. It buys a shorter wait to be treated like a person. Level 6, $5 million. The airport stops being something you endure and becomes something that's handled. You don't check yourself in. Someone does it for you before you arrive. There's a service now, a person in a suit who meets you at the curb, takes your bags, and walks you through a private lane where the officers nod instead of question. You clear security in the time it takes to say good morning. You never take out your laptop. You never see the metal frame that measures a bag. You never hear a boarding group called in your life again. You wait in a room most travelers don't know exists, past a frosted door, past a second door behind it. First class isn't a seat here, it's a category of human being. A flight gets delayed, not yours, theirs. Out in the terminal, 300 people are learning they'll sleep on the floor tonight. In your room, a woman with a tablet has already rebooked you onto something else, and she tells you about it the way you'd tell a friend good news. The poor are processed, the rich are received. Same building, same planes. Two entirely different countries separated by a frosted door. Level 7, $25 million. You stop using the airport almost entirely. There's a different building now, on the other side of the field. No terminal, no screens, no lines because there's no one to line up behind. It's called an FBO, and you didn't know that acronym existed until the year you could afford to walk into one. You drive your car nearly onto the tarmac. You walk maybe 40 feet. The plane is a charter, and it doesn't leave until you're on it because the schedule is a single name long, and the name is yours. There's no security theater here. No shoes, no belt, no frame, no fee, no group. The whole apparatus that spent your entire life sorting you, gone. Not beaten, just not present. It was never built for people like this. You simply left the building where the sorting happens. You think about the middle seat, the cold floor, the bag you push down with both hands. It feels like a story about someone else. It isn't. The rich don't skip the line. They were never told there was a line. The line is a thing they only learn about later from people like you describing a country they've never had to visit. Level 8, $50 million. You own the plane. And here's what nobody tells you at the bottom, the thing you would not have believed at Group 9 with your pants in one hand. At the very top, the airport disappears completely. You never see one. You will not stand in a terminal again. The building that measured you, numbered you, called your group last and checked your bag at the door, you have simply exited it forever. And the exit was so quiet you almost didn't notice the day it happened. There's no line to wait in, no name to be called because there's no one who needs to call it. The jet is worn before you arrive. The car pulls up beside the stairs. Someone you pay knows your coffee. And you feel it. the thing the whole climb was secretly about. It was never the seat, it was never the champagne or the lounge or the frosted door. It was this: nobody gets to decide what group you're in anymore. You left the building where they do the deciding. Right now, somewhere, a plane is boarding. A woman is standing at the back of the terminal with a bag she's holding with both hands, waiting for a number to be called. It's Group 9. It's the last one. She'll walk down the aisle past people who are already seated, already settled, and she'll hand her bag to a flight attendant at the door because there's no room left for the people who board last. She thinks it's about the bag. It was never about the bag. The airport didn't decide she was less. It just read out loud what her bank account already said, in a building built to sort people over a loudspeaker in front of strangers. You were the same traveler at every level. Same person, same body walking down the same jet bridge. The airport just decided who you were, based on the number sitting quietly next to your name.